Be here now. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the invisible world of Jeremy Jonz, where all things are possible when you believe. So hang on, here we go. Let's do this. Hello, this is Jeremy Jonz, and you've come to the right place. It's the right time because I'm about to open this next little treasure box called episode 35, but I want it now. Part 6. Part 6. How many parts are there? We shall see. Okay. You know what we haven't done in a really long time? We haven't done story time. The last story time episode was a while back. It's been too long, so let's do story time today. I will go to my big invisible house, and you go to your house, and sink in your big comfy chair by the fireplace, and we'll connect. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there once lived a dashing, amazing queen. She guided her kingdom with wisdom and love and gifted intuition. Listen, life wasn't perfect. This place was not utopia. There were problems and challenges, even bad weather. Occasionally, storms came that wiped out farms and food, and there were sicknesses and stresses that they were stranger to none. But through all these pressing vicissitudes, the queen, she was steadfast. Of course she was beautiful, but that's not what made her great. Much more than that, she was an indomitable survivor. And surviving time after time, and challenge after challenge, and storm after storm, it sublimated to lead to thriving time after time, which is how she eventually was elected queen in the first place. People love a survivor who then transforms to a thriver. The caterpillars who crawl and crawl, they crawl their way to eventually flying. Well, like you, sometimes she got scared. Yet her courage was unflinching. Her legendary survival spirit was second to none in all the kingdom. So, whatever came, like that time when the northern enemy attacked and breached the border, ransacking the grain silo, pillaging and stomping through the town square, and it looked hopeless, right? There was scarcity and crippling debt and round-the-clock work at every bend. Still, she found a way. She always found a way. That was her specialty, her superpower. It was easy when the blacksmith asked what to engrave on the crown. Invenium viam. Her strength lifted. That's what strength is. The people loved her. She didn't perch up in the ivory tower waving a wand of commands through Chantilly lace, right? But rather, she toiled besides them. Her hands moved tirelessly for their benefit. She knew how to throw a smashing party and celebrate it alongside the people at life's milestones, and she cried alongside them at the losses, at the funerals. High cheekbones and ravishing eyes were trivial compared to the beauty that she created, the beauty that she radiated. 27 million degrees within, down to the core, right down there. Stunning. Her vision of what life and love could be. Her radiance beamed. She was brilliant. Well, one day, as the story goes, the queen aged. She said it was time for her to bring up an apprentice. She issued a decree for whoever had interest to come to the town square to be presented with a challenge where the winner would not just be awarded a life-changing noble apprenticeship, but also would be bequeathed half the kingdom as well. A young girl named Bliss heard the decree. She arrived to the challenge day in her grimy, bare feet because that's all she had. She squished in the competitive crowd. She needled and nudged, only catching glimpses of the queen. Well, the queen raised her hand to speak, and the throng of young would-be apprentices, young men and young women of all ages, right, they all fell silent as the queen announced the challenge. Bliss couldn't believe it. All they had to do was go down to the river with an empty jar, fill the jar with river water, and also catch a fish from the river. Put it in the jar, bring it back to the queen. First one back wins. 2 stipulations, said the queen. You must only use your hands, no nets or tools, and you only have 2 hours to achieve the task, after which the opportunity would rescind. They all circled and handed out a jar to each youth. Ready, set, go, and they were off, galloping down the trail. It was difficult to get a jar. The ambitious, spirited youth were restless. Half the kingdom, they repeated. I want a jar. No, I want a jar. Me first. The youth pushed harder. No, me first. My turn, mine, over here, mine. One of them threw an elbow. No, me first. But I want it now, Daddy. Bliss saw some of them pushing others aside, pushing aside their own friends, or used to be friends. The stakes were too high now, though. Half the kingdom. Who needs friends then? The restlessness, the reward, the royalty. The drumming beat of the youth permeated. You could hear it. You could feel it. Work the fields, work the kitchen, work the job for the rest of your life? Nah, I want the kingdom. The life hack, yo. The luck, the roll, the G6, the passive streams of income, the chiseled physique, the house right off Cottonwood Lane, and the endless followers pounding on the windows for more podcast episodes. We want more. And I want it all right now. You could even hear some of the more accomplished youth talking as they raced down to the river. Oh, I don't care so much about being rich. I just want the kingdom so I can do a lot of good, help more people. That's what I'm about. The intention seemed harmless at first, even noble, even royal. But the closer the youth got to the water, the more desperation hummed, the fear of not getting what they wanted. So some stole jars and threw them. They shattered, some tripped and tricked others. You should go left, no, right, left, then left again. Yeah, trust me. If the apprenticeship was so great, and owning all the land as a royal was so great, why did it feel so frustrating, pining and pushing to get it? So overwhelming. Well, Bliss, she was one of the very last to get a jar. See, it wasn't her style, to push others around to get what she wanted, to climb on their backs or swivel sharp elbows. That's not her style. Plus, without shoes, she wasn't thrilled about being stepped on. And maybe that's why she would never be a royal apprentice, never get the kingdom, never get what she wanted. Maybe she just didn't have enough drive, enough willpower. By the time Bliss finally stepped into the shallow river, it was already swarming and covered with competitors, and many older and bigger. The eager achievers were clenching their fists with all their might. Their hands, their arms, their veins, swollen with tension, with unquenchable desire and determination, they beat and they punched the water in search of fish. They just needed one. In and out they snapped and popped their fists. Water splashed everywhere. Still, no one had a fish in their jar, and it wasn't for lack of effort either. They worked up a sweat. Their hearts raced and their muscles were sore. And some grew negative, complaining about the time of the day, about how fish don't come out at high sun, complaining about all the other kids causing mayhem and distraction, and they were ruining it for others. If only they weren't there. The river is too small for all of us. There's just not enough to go around. Besides, we all can't get what we want, so I need to hurry and get mine. A few even turned on the queen, you know how she was not in reality anymore. Others grew tired and sat on the bank of the river. Still others pressed on, wielding their positivity and willpower, pounding the water with effort and hope. We'll get one, and we just need to keep trying. Stay positive. Eye on the prize. It will happen. Each time it was something positive, but still no fish. Still no winner. And worse, right, these positivity plungers with all their enthusiasm tipped over the jars. So then they had to refill the jars with water, which soon jars were scattered across the many rocks and boulders speckling the winding river surface. 2 trumpets blew, signaling that the competition was half over. An hour left. It startled Bliss, who realized her jar was still dry. Half over. How could it already be half over? She circled the river, crossing the bridge, feeling the wind, scouting where the shallow river trickled, searching for where the flow was, which direction, where it sank and sped. She crouched down, her hands dipping motionless in the water, inviting every current and sensation to encircle her. She felt encouraged. She thought of the queen. Surely this is what she would do with all her wisdom and natural connectivity. Bliss left that spot and tried several others, looking for her place in the Grand River. She crossed the bridge again. The loud youth pillaged the water. Some even tried to fill their jars by grabbing fistfuls of water. And the more they grabbed and squeezed, the more the water ran between the cracks in their fingers, and the less made it into the jar, just little droplets here and there. Fortunately, without shoes, a blessing, she felt the river creep between her toes. And then it came to her. I don't need to go to the river. Just let the river come to me. She didn't just smile at the insight. She breathed. She felt it. It felt right. It felt good. Then she waltzed on down to the river, maybe a half hour. That was never the plan. She was supposed to feverishly dunk her desires in the water, not lose focus across the sky and the shoreline trail, and how grateful she was just for this moment, grateful just to have the opportunity, grateful for her courage to follow the flow, to follow the sky and the splendid nature. Just giving it a try was something she was grateful for, and she realized that she was okay now, even with her empty jar. Even being away from the river. Somehow she was okay. And she'd be okay, even if she didn't get the fish, didn't get the kingdom, didn't get all these things that she dreamed about, that she prayed for, that she journaled about. She did the mantras, she did the prayers. They were just and honorable desires. I mean, she even had a vision board. But she was okay. And she would be okay because she was Bliss. I mean, a name like that, you don't forget. Parents don't name their daughter Bliss by chance. And that was enough. And it would always be enough. The power of knowing who she was. Man, how far had she wandered? There were few people now in the vicinity, scattered here and there, so far from what was considered the best spot of the river. So she left the trail and wandered back into the waters again. She turned and watched, listened. She felt the currents again, followed the flow between two boulders. She crouched down, and instead of a powerful, strong fist, she gently opened her palms, cupping them soft. And in 3 simple scoops, she filled the jar with water. It's too easy. She felt the light current across her skin, the flow, the energy. It was coming to her. She cupped her hands under the water and waited. She closed her eyes and breathed. This was fun now, because she knew it would be okay whether or not she got the fish. In that moment of exhale, the fish swam by. But Bliss's eyes were closed, right? So she didn't see the fish swimming over her cupped hands. But she felt it. She felt the fin tap her palm. It was effortless now. Oh, that's a fish. All she did was go with the flow and scoop up the fish into the jar. She sat her jar on the bank of the river, turned and bowed to the river to thank it for its abundance. And as she did, she saw her reflection in the water, and her mouth dropped in surprise. No, it couldn't be. But it was. She raised her right hand, and the reflection raised, and then she raised her left hand, and in perfect equanimity, there was no mistake. The reflection was a match. It was clear from the jewels on the crown atop her head with the engraving, to the family crest and Veniam Viam across her sash, to the radiance on her face. She was, herself, the very great queen. Will you help me scoop up a conclusion here? I hesitate to put one out here because I want you to find your own takeaways and conclusion. Where are you? Who are you? Where are you on your river journey? I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of takeaways, and maybe they change and flow with different seasons. So I leave an open space for additional conclusions tomorrow. But here's one for today. Next time you want something so badly, and you think it's not just nice to have, like it's warranted, it's earned, it's just. I worked for it. It should be this way. I deserve it. I am a good person. Instead of thrashing and clenching your fist with all your might, capturing only droplets to fill up your jar, ignoring the flow and trying to hijack the great wisdom of a higher power, Jonz, you try relaxing the muscles and breathing, letting go. Letting go? Woohoo! What does that even mean? Let go, let it go. Yes. You do just that, Jonz. You let go of the fear of not having it. And then open your palms to the flow, to love just being out there with your jar, to your bare feet that work so hard, to your own wandering, unique way, right on your trail, to your desires, to your dreams. Then you boldly declare your intention, and you let go of the tension, and you judiciously scoop up your attention, focusing on what you want, where it's flowing. Instead of clenching your fist, open your palms. Let it come to you. And see if you can install and live by this core belief: that you will get everything you need in the right season, at the right time, And if you don't, because sometimes you won't, then I'm believing that I either get what I want or I get something better. This or something better. And I'm open that the flow knows better than I do, even better than what I can think up. My greatest good might not be what I think it is. Maybe I wasn't planning on walking 30 minutes to a whole different spot on the river. Like that was never in plan A. I was just going to run down the river, scoop it up, and run back and then win, right? That's a hike. The whole extra 30 minutes. I mean, but you can have peace knowing, hey, this or something better is always flowing to you. That's one of my core beliefs. Receivable only if the palms are open. And remember, rough diamonds may sometimes be mistaken for worthless pebbles. Thomas Brown, yeah. Now, if you forget Bliss's story, then just remember this one thing. The world needs who you were meant to be.